Yoo, our energy expert, who will speak on laser and PMF, biohacking for enhanced regenerative medicine. We'll also introduce a very special guest, surprise guest, and an incredible opportunity. Thank you.
All right, yeah, so I got like 90 slides to go over, so someone give me a heads up when I'm like 5 minutes out, but I'll try to get through all the slides. That being said, please ask questions to the end. That way we make sure we get through everything. But I'm Dr. Yoo, DC. I founded the Laser STEM Med Institute. We're an integrated practice of chiropractic sports physicians, internal medicine, geriatric specialists, and orthopedic surgeons. My family, no, I'm not in Oz, right? But this is our family in New York. We sponsor one of Dr. Oz's health core events. We teach teenagers how to get off drugs, get back in organic foods and sports. I got my start into sports practice. I was very fortunate to be a credentialed provider at the 2008 Olympic Games. So we got a lot of experience treating athletes there. And when I came back to the States, one of my friends, he's a former NFL athlete named John Wellborn. He introduced me to SEAL Team 4. So they flew me to Virginia, and I got to treat one of the Navy SEAL teams. These are not the real sunglasses. We couldn't reveal our eyes, so I had the shades of photoshopped on them. And then I got into regenerative medicine. I'm in the middle of completing my A4M stem cell fellowship. And that's where I met AJ. And then he graciously made me a teacher here at the A4M. So my job is to find different ways to biohack stem cells through energy, nutrition, technology, so you can get more enhanced results. So this is how I really imagine what the future of medicine is. So I'm going to show you a video of what that is. If I press the forward button, will it play? All right. Could you play that for me? And sound?
What the hell is that? What are you doing? What's your degree in? Dentistry?
What's the matter with you?
How do you explain slow respiratory rate and coma? Fundoscopic examination.
Fundoscopic examinations are revealing in these cases.
A simple evacuation of the expanding epidural hematoma will relieve the pressure.
God knows. Drilling holes in his head's not the answer. The artery must be repaired. Now put away your butcher knife and let me save this patient before it's too late.
I'm gonna have you removed.
This is unprofessional. Seems like I'm the security guard. If I'm finding out right, this condition is critical. My truck says radical chemotherapy is incredible, just like that. What about endoscopic examination? We talked about image therapy. Oh, they're gonna punch each other out. Unbelievable. You have different views on it?
Like sounds like a goddamn Spanish Inquisition.
That day.
I don't know why I'm sorry. Damn it, do you want an acute taste on your hands? This woman has immediate postprandial upper abdominal distension.
Name, rank.
Get out of the way, get out of the way.
Check cramps.
Isn't that Leonid? Where's Leonid when he was young? Okay. Anyway, so I always imagine that in the future, we have stem cells, right? And I believe the future will be exosomes. And in the future, I don't think we're going to even inject biologics. We will stimulate your body's dormant, your innate stem cells, your very small embryonic stem cells to be activated through energy, through nutrition, or other means of delivery. Allegedly, William Shatner himself recently had stem cells injected into himself for anti-aging purposes, I presume. I was fortunate to be interviewed by Captain Kirk himself, and I'm going to share what type of Star Trek technology we use to enhance our regenerative medicine in our practices. Does that play? And sound?
The real issue is how do we keep Americans healthy? And I understand that is one of your goals. So tell me, what are you doing to help us stay healthy? Any new procedures and developments that help people to live more productive lives and in so doing move America forward?
Well, Mr. Shatner, the non-invasive, non-intrusive medical devices once seen in Star Trek have now become a reality. We have developed new techniques and procedures using LED and infrared light technology, class 4 lasers, and pulsed electromagnetic field waves that are having a dramatic impact on those suffering from chronic pain. For the first time in a long time, these people are actually able to go out in the world and enjoy life again, pain-free. And that, Mr. Shatner, is how we are helping to move America forward.
So I believe that we are all Star Trek doctors. We are all Dr. Bones McCoy. We are the forefront of medicine. And I believe AASCP is the authorities in the forefront for innovating the latest futuristic regenerative medicine and safe procedures. I'll give you an example of how we implement the laser technology in our practices. No, we don't treat Arnold yet, but we treat one of Arnold's friends who came. She named Sandy. She was a bodybuilder back in the Venice Beach days, and she was friends with Arnold. So Sandy came in with arthritic knee and some sciatica. So under fluoroscopy, she had some stem cells injected in her knee, but she wasn't really making good results. So she came to us, and I did some laser therapy on the same knee that was injected, and all of a sudden, she got the results. And now she's like our best fan at our patient education seminars. So when I do regenerative medicine, I think about it as like we're growing a plant, all right? So when you grow a plant, you need live seeds, right? So you need high quality stem cells. And then obviously you need water, all right? I feel alkaline water makes a healthy environment for the cells to proliferate. So when we do inject the cells, most arthritic joints are very acidic. So to buffer that, we like to buffer the biologic with sodium bicarbonate. And then you need oxygen, nitric oxide. You could do ozone injections in the knee. Fortunately, we kill two birds with one stone. Our light-emitting diodes and lasers have the wavelengths that stimulate nitric oxide, and you get the photobiomodulation effects.
Dr. Yoo, what?
Oh, question at the end, please. As we know, through photobiomodulation, vitamin D3 is activated in your skin. That pulls calcium into your bones. It's a precursor for your growth hormone. Certain wavelengths of light in the morning stimulate your pineal gland to make melatonin. It regulates your circadian rhythm. So your body is a big photoreceptor. Your eyes, your skin, and I would arguably say the mitochondria in your stem cells need ATP energy from light to proliferate. So we invented the laser stem procedure, and I'll show you a video of how that would work. This play.
Laser therapy uses a process called photobiomodulation to change the condition of damaged tissue by stimulating cellular metabolism, thereby accelerating the healing process. A large convex treatment head can be used to compress superficial tissues, displacing excess fluid and enhancing laser penetration to deep structures. As light pours into the tissue, photons will be scattered, reflected, and absorbed. Lasers operating in the near-infrared spectrum from 650 to 1300 nanometers can penetrate to deep tissue structures. Light that penetrates into the tissue can be absorbed by melanin, hemoglobin, oxyhemoglobin, and water. Energy from these absorption events will be dissipated as heat, generating a soothing warmth in the tissue. The primary target for photobiomodulation is the cytochrome C complex, which is found in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. Cytochrome C is a vital component of the electron transport chain that drives cellular metabolism. As light is absorbed, cytochrome C is stimulated, leading to increased production of ATP, the molecule that facilitates energy transfer within the cell. In addition to ATP, laser stimulation also produces free nitric oxide and reactive oxygen species. Nitric oxide is a powerful vasodilator and an important cellular signaling molecule involved in many physiological processes. Reactive oxygen species have been shown to affect many important physiological signaling pathways, including the inflammatory response. In concert, the production of these signaling molecules has been shown to induce growth factor production, to increase cell proliferation and motility, and to promote extracellular matrix deposition and pro-survival pathways. Outside the cell, nitric oxide signaling drives vasodilation, which improves microcirculation in the damaged tissue, delivering oxygen, vital sugars, proteins, and salts while removing wastes. These mechanisms of action have been proved by over 40 years of laboratory experiments using lasers of minimal power.
There was a study done on a group of rats. So they took 42 rats and they induced osteoarthritis of the knee. They basically shaved or cut the meniscus out. And they divided the rats into two groups. Let's say you guys are the rats, all right? So 21 on this side, 21 on that side. We have a group A, group B. So for 3 weeks, they would treat each group of rats with this laser at 632 nanometer wavelength. Now, the rats who had the sham laser, there were no changes in histology. You know, the rats are still bone on bone, probably limping around pain. But the rats who had the actual real laser, photonic energy, chondrocytes started to proliferate in the rat's knee joint. So we know that certain laser wavelengths can actually cause your body to signal your stem cells to come out of the bone marrow or the parasites, signal it to go to the target tissue of the knee and regenerate the tissue. All right. Other studies show the ideal wavelengths, usually it's between 630 and 810 is ideal for photobiomodulation. 980 lasers is more for like pain and inflammation. So we use a multi-wavelength laser that has all the wavelengths, 630, 810, 980. I feel there are 3 main challenges in regenerative medicine. Getting the cells to desired location, so obviously some type of ultrasound, fluoroscopy guidance is ideal. Having the cells stay in location, so we want to do some local information to enhance the cytokine, signaling. So let's say we inject in the medial knee joint because you have a bow leg causing bone-on-bone arthritis of the medial knee. We'll actually irritate the medial knee through mechanical receptor stimulation with some myofascial release tools, shockwave therapy, and actually some laser to create some heat, local inflammation to get the inflammatory cytokine signaling so the cells stay in that area. And then we want to achieve the repair. And I feel you got failed cases because you didn't achieve all these objections, okay? And then this is a theoretical study of how the laser guidance system works. So if you put cells into a flask because of second law of thermodynamics, entropy, they're just gonna spread around randomly. If you shine the certain wavelengths of laser in there, the cells will be attracted to where the laser energy is because it wants that ATP energy or through the signaling. So if you shut the laser off, those cells will stay where that laser signal was. That way, stem cells, they're going to go where inflammation is. So even if you put it here and you have inflammation in your hip, some of the cells will go there. You want to put it in the target tissue. In nature, they call it positive tropism. If you put a plant on the windowsill, if you notice, the stems of the plant will grow towards the sun. It wants that ATP energy. All right. So with the augmented laser guidance, typically with just pure biological injections, usually we tell our patients, you could expect some pain relief 3 to 6 weeks. We've seen it within 24 hours with implementing the laser guidance as well. So this is a infrared thermometer I use, and it just gives a general indication of what part of the joint has the most inflammation. So if we're deciding to inject lateral, medial, we want to put where the inflammation is greatest. All right, lateral, medial. In general, if you have a genu varus, bow legs, we do medial approach. If you have knock knees, a valgus, we'll do lateral. I like to distract the knee joint before we inject it. It goes in real smoothly, less pain. So I develop a traction, it's called a knee decompression system, where if you have a medial loaded joint, and if you want to open that up, we'll create an acute angle. It'll open that joint up more. So the needle goes in really smooth. And if you think of it, it's probably creating negative pressure, so the cells will be sucked in that joint capsule easier. After the injection, we put a light-emitting diode for about half hour. Again, it warms the tissue, causes that cytokine signaling. All right. Here's how LEDs work. This will answer your question. Does that play? All right.
A closer look illustrates how the use of light therapy with infrared diodes can help promote the healing process in the body. At the basic level, all cells in the body have a miniature power plant within called the mitochondria. This is where our cell's energy is produced. The technical term for this energy is called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP for short. ATP is formed from oxygen and glucose, both of which are carried to cells by blood flow. Patients with neuropathy often have decreased blood flow, which means all cells, including nerves, are not receiving adequate amounts of oxygen and glucose. Therefore, the mitochondria cannot manufacture normal amounts of ATP. Nerves, most commonly in the extremities, sense this lack of ATP production by sending pain signals to the brain. In some cases, a lack of sensation rather than pain is the chief symptom, and this is the main reason for falls. Because the mitochondria are very sensitive to light, infrared light therapy can stimulate ATP production in the mitochondria. That is, if the nerves receive glucose and oxygen through increased blood flow to the nerves. Light energy stimulates the release of nitric oxide from hemoglobin into the bloodstream. When nitric oxide is released from hemoglobin, it enters the muscle cells in walls of the blood vessels. The muscle cells relax as the blood vessel diameter enlarges, allowing more blood to flow through the vessels. Increasing nitric oxide levels in the body offers a host of benefits. These can include anti-inflammation. Inflammation occurs when oxygen levels are too low, so increasing blood flow via nitrogen.
So the LED lights have a very similar effect to the laser. They're just different wavelengths, wattages, and powers. Okay. So again, we covered light, we covered alkaline water, and then we covered quality seeds. And there's many types of seeds, if you will, you can use. We know there's a lot of controversy with adipose. Some clinics seem to get some warning letters. I think using a closed system is ideal. Some clinics are still doing bone marrow. I think there's a lot of false marketing. I still see patients still come to me, oh, they're getting stem cells, the doctor took it from my blood. Well, that's really PRP. There are, very small embryonic stem cells in there, but they're dormant. So really can't say they're activated stem cells. Then we have our placental products or amniotic fluid. Then we have our umbilical cord blood or Wharton's jelly. Make sure your seeds are live, right? I'm going to clear up the controversy. I get so many patients, oh, didn't the Bushes, ban stem cells? No. George Bush, he banned the research on future lines of embryonic stem cells. He had no qualms with adult stem cells, which is from the umbilical cord, fat, BMAC, even the Pope blessed, adult stem cells. So that's what you could tell your patients. It was the research on stem cells. I tell them before the baby's born, because there's controversy killing a potential fetus from the blastocyst. But he didn't have a problem after the baby's born, the umbilical cord. Patients understand that. Unfortunately, when I met him, he already had his knees replaced. I couldn't do anything. Again, I feel the ultimate seed eventually will be the exosome, just because they're between 50 and 150 nanometers. They'll pass the blood-brain barrier. A lot of patients, they get confused what an exosome is. One of my friends, an OBGYN, I was talking to him about exosome. He's like, what's that? So, you don't learn this stuff. You think it was a waste product. I tell him this. This is the stem cell, that big blob. And that's the post office. They organize the mail. The exosome is the mailman. They carry the mRNA, the envelope, the messenger. Now you can deliver more postmen and more envelopes to the target cell. The brain, the eye, the joint, the nerve, the organ. And you could fit billions, or some products, trillions of exosomes in one vial, so you get more mRNA messages to regenerate that joint. And then they understand that, okay? Because you can't get this big post office to go to the brain, but you can get the exosome, the mailman, to go there to stimulate the healing messages. Another way, there's still controversy. Do COX-2 inhibitors, do they have adverse effects on stem cells? We like to be very conservative. We feel that we want that local inflammation. We don't want any, NSAIDs to interfere with that. We also tell our patients, if you're on a statin, you can't do stem cells, because this is research done by Dr. Eckhart Alt, who did Jack Nicklaus's stem cells. Statins have adverse effects on stem cell proliferation. So we try to get their cholesterol down through nutrition and lifestyle. Another adverse event that inhibits your stem cell results is too much LPS, lipopolysaccharides in inflammatory diets, junk food, too much sugar. Fatty acids plus LPS causes 10 times more toxic inflammation in the body. So your body's mitochondria isn't going to be as healthy. LPS, lipopolysaccharides, tear down the mitochondrial wall. So you're going to have a lot of free radicals leaking out, less ATP production, less stem cell proliferation. So mitochondria, that delivers the ATP to give the energy for a young, healthy stem cell. We like to put all our patients on a 5-day fast. If they cannot handle a water fast, I recommend the Prolon diet. I don't represent them. We have great results. People are losing 17 pounds just by doing this 5-day mimicking fast. Usually after the 4th day, you get cell regeneration. We put them on 5 days, 3 months in a row, and then every 6 months. The patients who don't do this fast, they don't get as good results. And we know that fasting causes autophagy, so you get the dead cells out, leaving more rooms for the cells to go in. Another thing, we're starting to work with the patient's microbiome. We are more foreign bacteria or probiotic cells than human cells. I mean, there's trillions of different strains of probiotics. If the bad bacteria overpower the good ones, you're gonna get a lot of inflammation, autoimmune disease, too much LPS in your diet, you're gonna get leaky gut syndrome. It's gonna cause a lot of systemic inflammation. So we use a lot of probiotics. We wanna get nice butyrate in their diet. I like to use highly concentrated coconut oil, get a lot of butyrates in there, balance out their mucosa. So to get total gut restoration, we use a probiotic that is spore-based, because normal probiotics, the gel capsule, gets broken down in your gut acid, you don't get the absorption. But a spore in nature, those seeds could live hundreds of years to protect those seeds. So with these spore-based probiotics, they're going to survive the gut acid, and you're going to get that absorption. The only other way to guarantee absorption is a fecal transplant. You could take a suppository probiotics, but that's less convenient, right? And then another reason we don't like to use COX-2 inhibitors, when you're inhibiting NF-kappa beta, the local inflammation, That's what activates the cytokine signaling. So why are you going to inhibit that? All right. We like to use phosphatidylcholine because A, it preserves the mitochondrial wall, and B, it decreases inflammation in the endothelial lining in your blood vessels. So guess what? Your bad cholesterol goes down, you get off the statins. So all our patients with high cholesterol, we put on PC. All right. Now, phosphatidylcholine is made from lecithin. You can get it from Pam cooking spray, but you're not going to spray that into your knee like the Greeks do, like Windex. So you have to have liposomal delivery, because again, normal PC with a gel capsule, the stomach acid is going to eat that up. So the main lipid component of synovial fluid, by the way, is phosphatidylcholine. So you want to put that in the joint as well. So we use a product with a phospholipid bilayer to protect the phosphatidylcholine, or to survive the gut acid. We also combine it with vitamin C, which is a great antioxidant. Let's say this is a phosphatidylcholine to vitamin C complex, which is protected by the liposomal phosphatidylcholine bilayer, so it goes through the absorption. You always want to use vitamin C or regenerative medicine because we know not only scurvy, but vitamin C enhances your arthritis to get worse. So you want to use vitamin C as well. So again, our goal is to decrease inflammation, prevent osteoarthritis, improve collagen formation, vacuum up the metabolic dust, the waste products, to promote ideal levels of inflammation with nutrition. Goals of regenerative support formulas: create local environment therapeutic process, decrease LPS inflammation, support healthy tissue genesis, to enhance collagen synthesis, osteogenic activity, support healthy joint fluid, support cell membrane health, and therapeutic maintenance through a healthy diet. All right. Again, goal of total gut restoration. We want to recondition the gut, reinforce it, and rebuild it. We always put our patients on fermented foods. Fortunately, I'm Korean. I'll eat a lot of kimchi. There's a lot of good probiotics. If you're German, you got your sauerkraut. If you can tolerate dairy, we got kefir, and you want to cycle it around. Pickles, organic pickles. You want to drink the pickle juice. This is where all the good, the microbiome, healthy bacteria are. I'm investigating this product. This is a 3-phase detox system. The theory here is most detoxes are at downstream, like they'll do a coffee enema. You want to do it upstream where the cell is. And you need good binders to bind those toxins, the heavy metals, to get them out of the body. So this is a 3-phase system where it's a true cellular detox with true binders, and then they detox the brain, and then they go downstream. They work on the lymphatics, kidneys, livers, and the gut. So here, you want to remove the source of the toxins, get the heavy metals out of your body. Oh, by the way, when 5G comes out, don't install 5G. It's going to create more bad EMFs going in your body. Regenerate the cell membrane, increase the cell energy. Number 2, open up the support pathways, the lymph, kidneys, liver, gut. You want to use true binders to move toxins out of the cell. Okay. We also use a lot of pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. This is also, a lot of studies show it does stimulate endogenous stem cells to proliferate. Here we're doing a double knee procedure. There are many FDA-approved uses for PEMF, chronic pain relief, post-operative pain and swelling, accelerated healing of bone fractures, depression, but we know it's good for other neurological diseases too. NASA studies, enhanced tissue repair, stimulate growth of stem cells was an adjunct study. If you think about it, the cells, it's a capacitor, all right? PEMF therapy will specifically target the compromised area of the body to increase electrical gradient of your cells. thus considerably improving the cell's ability to repair and heal. PMF is like a battery charger for your stem cells. Dr. Burr, PhD at Yale, discovered that measurable imbalances in the electrical field of an organ precedes the onset of pathology. He also stated if the electrical imbalance is corrected, the disease will not manifest. Another reason why PMF works is so effective at advanced injury and repair of inflammation, not only does the electrical gradient of the cell increase, but the cell pumps out toxins, detoxifies the body as well. Here's another study, PMF with umbilical cord-derived mesenchymal stem cell therapy. It's an adjunct to that, stimulates the MSCs. Now we're experimenting with different radial shockwave treatments to stimulate the MSCs. There's two types of shockwave. There's radial. I like to think of it this, is radial shockwave is like a machine gun. It's like a spray and pray. It's going to cover larger areas, so it's good for like a torn muscle. It's going to cover a larger area of your body. Whereas focus shockwave is like a sniper. It's very specific and it goes deep. Like let's say you want to go right in the L4-5 disc. So again, radial has a more large radius, where the focus is a pinpoint. So I think you need both really. Different depths of penetration, different radius of effect. I also like to stimulate through Mechanoreceptor Stimulation. I use myofascial release tools. You can use Grafton. I don't like Grafton because they're slippery. So what I did, I put a masking, it's like a grip that you put on your stairs so you don't slip, so you can grip the handle better. And then if we're doing great for plantar fasciitis, after injecting the stem cell or exosome, which works great, we'll laser the plantar, and then we'll do a myofascial release at the same time to irritate, cause some local inflammation, get the cytokine signaling going. I think that you should really write a book on your method of stem cells, because patients, they're very skeptical. But if you write a book, not only does it make you an authority in your industry, it makes you a celebrity and an expert. What I'd like to do is, this is my best-selling book called Transform. You get a free copy later, just ask me. But I wrote that with several different authors, so we got it done in 6 months. If I try to write that thing, a 300-page book myself, it would take me years. So I think we should do, all AASCP members, we should write a chapter each, just like 5 pages. And we'll make like the stem cell Bible book, and then you'll have all these experts talking about their specialty, okay? Maybe we could set that up. My other book was just on lasers, 21st century pain relief. It gets you in a lot of contacts. I was fortunate to meet this athlete through my book. All right. And that being said, we have a special guest. He's from the NFLalumni Association. He's going to talk about a special program we put together that literally launched August 1st on how you can get referrals from the NFLalumni Association. So without further ado, we're gonna call up Billy Davis. He's a 2-time Superbowl champion, and he is a stem cell advocate. Let's give Billy a hand for coming up here.
Thank you. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know I got the 5-minute thing popping up here. So I did play 7 years in the NFL, played since I was 5. So I guess that makes it 24 years, which is exactly the number of surgeries I've had in my career. So with that being said, I've been to Israel, I've been to several different places trying to find relief. And with that, I used to get a letter from the NFL every year to get my kidneys and my liver checked for failure for all the internal medications they had for us to stay on that football field. And that guy he sent up there, I won that Super Bowl with that Emmett Smith guy for forward. So we at the NFLalumni, I'm the National Director for Healthcare Initiatives, and also we're working with the PGA the NHL and MLB. But that just goes to show you the adoption of this regenerative movement. We've also partnered with Dr. Neil Reardon, who's one of the leading thought leaders in this space in the Wharton's Jelly. I personally have had it. I personally have gotten off all of my opioid medications and have had some amazing results. There's obviously many, I'm a walking, breathing example of all the examples that you're seeing. I am that guy. So we are really advocating. We even started, we just launched here very recently, a partnership with the NFLalumni. We're get it what the pros get. So this is a great way with the FDA coming down. You're going to be limited in language, but now we're able to give you the biggest bullhorn with the biggest brand in America, and we are open for business as far as pro athletes, 35 cities, 35 chapters across the United States who are advocating for regenerative medicine. So we are, with the cutting edge research, we're actually a tissue-based product. We call it regenerative tissue. I don't like using the term stem cells. It's a pretty general statement. But we go from A to Z. Well, I guess there's not a Z statement, is there? I got hit in the head quite a few times, so I can't remember. No, but so from Arizona all the way to Florida, California there, we are going to be proactively in the market with Signature Athletica, and we're trying to recognize clinicians, clinics for the adoption of this, that we are going to be funneling pro athletes of all former fields, from the PGA to pro football. In their post careers, they need places to go, and we want to give them to the best in the business, and we are proactively doing that. And as far as research study, all the things that we're talking about, we are advocating for that and be results for that in the future. So we look forward to that. If you have any questions concerning our Signature Athletica brands or concerning any of our advocacy, you can go and contact Dr. Yoo. We are working with him, and we are just launched this August 1st. So we are really trying to make this a public adoption for regenerative medicine. We thank you, and we thank you for advocating for it.
Excellent. All right, so as you can see, there's a chapter in every major city, and we were thinking of just putting one doctor per city, but we're like, we just want to open up to everybody, but I wanted to give my home AASCP doctors the first dibs in getting in the program. So what you're going to do is, if you want to be in the referral program, learn more about it, you can text me. Here. So text your name, email, also put what city you're from, and text NFL stem cell at this number, and I'll give you more information about that. But let me tell you, why would you not want to be associated with NFLalumni? So A, you're going to stand out from everyone else, and B, once they run some clinical studies, and let's say you're part of their knee study, it's game over. And what's the best way to keep the NFL, Alumni Association partnered with AASCP to, guess what, help our fight to keep regenerative medicine in the U.S.? Because I don't think the government's going to tell NFL alumni, oh, you can't have stem cells in the U.S., you've got to fly to Germany or Japan or whatever, okay? So this is a perfect opportunity where they can help promote regenerative medicine, right, and keep it in the U.S. where it belongs, okay? Thanks for watching. I hope it was entertaining.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Okay, we'll have a break.